Good evening and welcome to the No Exit Experience. We have a new write-up this evening, so listen closely, all y'all. Welcome to the No Exit Experience, the VIP lounge of the human psyche, a claustrophobic K-pop train wreck where the only currency is interruption and where the knowledge that other people are the ultimate acid trip you can never come down from. There's no escape hatch, no final judgment, just eternal, miserable dialogue, nonstop, three-ring circus of psychological torture where the only bartender is pure, unadulterated experience. For the next hour, here. But I'm granting Vanessa. Oh, I have Vanessa here. I have Richard,
Jim,
and Sal, and
Great Buddha.
Tom is the engineer, and we got Brian mobile. Wow, now his hat's on backwards. He means business.
Ooh.
where's Prez?
He's
Comments.
and
He's
we
in
have
the
the Prez
cosmic
just
space
commenting without a picture.
Oh, okay.
So
Prez is here and comments.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
So oh, you look like a goof like
forgot,
that.
sorry.
Look at the bill on his hat. Look at the bill on his hat. He looks like a goof. He looks like a goof. You know, there's
There you go.
one way is don't fuck with me. The other one is I'm an idiot.
He looks gangsta as fuck when he's
Okay,
backwards.
so we're going to give Vanessa 5 minutes to talk about K-pop. Then she can't mention it again. If she
Oh.
does, she'll be muted or kicked.
Kicked? You're gonna kick me? Did you miss me on back like you know the
See, that's a concrete answer.
Hot for Teacher video with David Lee Roth?
Yeah,
He says you miss me. You miss us. We're back.
Yeah, no, that okay. Your clock is running.
Okay, we're going to get into this. I got to put up the picture. K-pop is, I would say, the most important emergent form of music of the 21st century, perhaps the only emergent form from the 21st century. And in America, oh, there we go. See, it's us. You love this. In America, it is supposed that the default audience is adult, cisgender, straight Caucasian men like this character here. But that makes people say that, oh, pedophilia, catering to dirty old men. Dirty old men are not listening to K-pop. The initial audience is young girls in Asia, or young people, like South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong. And America's just an ancillary other audience. But it elevates and empowers young Asian women, not old white Caucasian men, out of the Western racist stereotypes of the geisha and the me love you long time ling ling. Like, look here, over here, we're gonna go. Come on, I gotta show you the black pink girls. They look like they would fuck you up. All right, so now we go back here. Come back to me. Well, look at aespa. They got like ray guns and stuff. They're gonna fuck you up. This scares old Western white bigot men. They're used to seeing themselves as the default audience and seeing like Asian girls as submissive objects for gratification. These girls are breaking that stereotype with empowered images such as this. And I must get into the new NMIX video for Blue Valentine. It doesn't even suppose a male audience. It's a love story between young women. It's a wonderful video. I totally endorse what's going on here. And the person who came up with this is J.Y. Park. How old do you think he is? He's the producer, and he's also a performer himself. How old do you think he is in this picture, Richard?
In his 30s.
He's 51 here.
He looks better than me.
Yeah, I told you, like the
Yes,
Asian
sir.
people do tend to age slower.
If I could,
Yeah.
what I like about this, it's not just women for women. It seems like it's just women empowering people.
Oh, it
period.
is. It's women being empowered. Yes, definitely. One of the biggest perpetrators of that is LE SSERAFIM. They're going to be on the New Year's Rockin' Eve this year. K-pop is making all kinds of inroads into, how do we get back to me? Inroads into cracking the American market, because what the hell does America have to export these days? You want to see what we have to export? This. Who the hell wants this? That's what America has to export culturally. I mean, if you got that or this, I'm choosing this. So anyway, JYP, who we just saw, he is a producer. He also produced, he's been producing for a long time. He brought you the Wonder Girls, from which we get Sun Mi, who's very influential and important. Here's the new NMIX album I was talking about. and it's on vinyl, real beautiful blue swirly vinyl. But anyway, your supposed default audience of the old white Caucasian American male is blown to bits, and that's part of why there's a lot of friction against this music and this movement. Here, I see a lot among that demographic. So also, J.Y. Park, we're going to go back to him. Where is he? There. No, not. See, even if they're in order, there he is. He is a born-again Christian, and he... so we're going to get into this. How come... You get the different interpretations of the Bible, where like the provisions against homosexuality were originally because of the influence of things like Sparta and Greece. It was initially older men with younger boys. It was pederasty. It's not an outright blanket default judgment on homosexuality. And you quote me chapter and verse where lesbianism is mentioned or forbidden. So J.Y. Park, being a born-again Christian, doing this NMIXX concept with the girl-on-girl love story. Why not? So, also we have, it's also a youth-centric movement. It's instead of old Caucasian men, like we have our buddy again, MAGA is a death cult based on the old, the stale, the decrepit, and K-pop is based on youth and the future.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah, now as far as Trump goes, there's a rumor going that if he carries his term out, then he wants to potentially run for J.D. Vance's vice president. Then J.D. Vance would step down, then Trump would legally get a third term.
No, you can't. No, that is not, because it says right
What do
there.
you think about that?
It says right there, right in the amendment that you're elected as vice president and as president, and you have to be eligible to be president. Since he's had 2 terms, he's not eligible to become president. It's
That's
right
what I
there.
thought.
Yeah, that he can't.
Until they change the law, which they have full intentions on doing.
That's an amendment.
trying
Do
to.
you realize 37 states have to approve it? That ain't going to happen.
That was more of a question, not a statement. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, because that's all the stuff that they say, but you would still have these up because Dumb Donnie is he's a demagogue, because otherwise you wouldn't listen to anything he says. You wouldn't let your 14-year-old daughter be in a room alone with him. The guy's a convicted felon. He's a sex offender. He stinks like shit. I mean, he checks every box for a walking, talking piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's dumb as nuts. He's absolutely a dumb guy. He talks like a 5th grader.
Third grader.
And when you have to tell people you're smart, you're not.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair
that people that say, oh, I'm so hot, if you have to tell people you're hot, you're not. You're not. Because these things are evident, you know, and things that are evident. So that's the bottom line, that Dumb Donnie can't be president again, no matter what he says.
You think so? You don't think they're going to twist the law and the Supreme Court will just uphold it like they do every bad idea he has?
They can't twist it. There's no.
You think they can't, but they'll come up with a way.
No, the thing would be martial law.
What Vanessa's saying is they will challenge that thing about the vice president, and it'll have to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah, and the Supreme Court just
gives
him anything he wants, no matter what it is.
Do you know who Roger B. Taney was? He was the one who laid down the Dred Scott decision, saying that even if you were a slave in a free state, you were still a slave and you had to go back. That was obviated by the 13th Amendment. And John Roberts said, every Chief Justice does not want to be Roger B. Taney, but he's aiming right for it.
Well,
he's aiming right for it.
Well, that's what Clarence Thomas is aiming for.
Well, but he's not the Chief Justice. And what Thomas is doing, well, like the birthright citizenship, if they turn that over, because that is taking up a constitutional question, if they turn that over, you're going to see, I don't know what'll happen, but that will be a sea change.
Were you surprised when they overturned the gerrymandering law?
I was disheartened, but I wasn't surprised, because you know that there's nothing. It's like they're in lockstep, just like the MAGA people that, like Nick Langworthless, my congressman, he wouldn't sign that exit petition until it went through. Then all the Republicans got on except for one, using the same argument why he didn't sign it, because that Langworthless used. So I'm not surprised. I'm disheartened, but I'm not surprised, having seen what they're doing. For whatever reason, they're giving fealty to Dumb Donnie and they're just rubber stamping.
That's because he's their god.
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
For
it's
those
his cult.
viewers who don't know about the gerrymandering thing before the Supreme Court, Texas rearranged its districts so that in some districts, the white people on the street were in District A and the black people were in District B.
Hey, Richard, didn't it eliminate 5 mostly black districts and give them
No,
9
it was-
mostly white districts?
Yeah, it was
what
racial.
they did is
Yeah.
they moved in enough white people so they would carry the district.
Plus, they gave them more districts for white people, like I think 4 more
right.
additional
and
ones.
and the Supreme Court said no, it wasn't race based; it was political.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Supreme Court said, what's unconstitutional about that?
And especially Clarence Thomas, he loves that shit. He hates himself.
Now, what they didn't say and they should have said is who voted for it and who voted against it. So,
Well-
and then I got to look that up.
No, they the six
Make it
conservative
so.
voted for it, and the 3
Yeah, the 6-3
liberals
again.
voted against it. And Alina Kagan's she had a vicious dissent. I mean, which almost saying it belies common sense. I mean, ipso facto, by the very fact itself, or res ipsa loquitur, the thing speaks for itself.
The press has a.
I don't have any solutions. That I never said I had solutions. I mean, I like to think that I might know, but me and $4 will get you a cup of coffee at Charbucks. I mean,
Really? It's that cheap?
I
Probably
think that's
more
just
at
a
the
cup of
Starbucks.
coffee with nothing in it.
I have a topic. I just don't know what you would call it.
Fire
But
away.
I do not like that.
Positive energy. Is it influential or is it subjective? Example: if Richard's texting me and Jason a whole bunch of nasty and mean, terrible stuff, right? And I'm having I'm having positive feedback, but Jason's giving him back negative feedback. Is he going to feed more off the negative or the positive because he's already in a negative mind state?
What makes your days? What would you notice more if 100 people said, "Hey Brian," and one person said, "Hey Brian, you have a fat face and you're ugly and you're stupid." You're not going to remember the 100 that were nice to you. Positive energy is good, but negative binds on you much more. That
Okay.
I agree with that one. Same.
Yeah, I think so too.
Here's an example of what Brian might be talking about. We just had Thanksgiving. In fact, Brian.
No,
and,
you had Turkey Day.
and Vanessa
right.
were at the same meal.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
was the
suppose
press.
you go to a Thanksgiving meal
Turkey Day.
and
stop that.
I don't do Thanksgiving. I do Turkey Day.
We registered it. Stop.
Okay.
and you sit down at the meal and somebody says, we're here to give thanks for all the food that's here before us. And somebody else at the table says, at the same time, I would like to bring up whether or not the homeless people in our area are the result of policies that we voted for. Should the host say, don't bring that up, that's negative. This is a time for positive views?
Who's going to bring it up during a prayer, though? You're going to do that later in the conversation,
Haven't you
maybe.
seen Debbie Downer?
I just found out I can't have kids. When she said that.
Hi, James.
Oh, James, Mr. Walker, welcome.
Hey,
You're alive.
James.
Hey, back from the
See
dead,
you,
huh?
Brian.
Yeah, you're alive. You should have listened to me from the first
Are
time.
you okay?
Good to see you.
This is not the time to
Come
say
to
I told you
karaoke.
so,
What is
Jason.
what?
I said this isn't the time to say I told you so. Sir James, how are
It's
you?
always the time.
that could be construed as negative.
True.
You look
James-
better than when I came to see you at the hospital. You don't have nothing hooked up to you now. You look good. You look better.
Well, like the news isn't about happy stuff. It's all the negative things. Like this house burned down, this car crashing that, this person killed this person. You know,
That's exactly what I'm getting at. In other words, some people misconstrue being positive equals not being realistic.
Oh, right.
And if you bring
Right.
reality into the conversation, stop. You're being negative.
Well, I said that
Yes.
30 years ago that pessimism and realism go hand in hand. If you think, if you just realize that people suck, your whole lifestyle will change.
But what about the beautiful and good things that are part of this world?
They are ephemeral and transitory.
They're like, it's not necessarily always negative. There
No,
could be-
you don't do that.
You're
not
obsessed
supposed to
with
do that.
K-pop.
Yeah, and you're
I
not
said
supposed.
I'm not supposed to talk.
No, you're
he's got you on a technicality.
you're
literal.
going to get kicked if
Yeah.
you do that one more time.
Kick
That-
me.
Yeah, And also, your philosophy was off because you said not kowtowing to white men, but the two women, they want to look attractive for each other. So they want to look attractive for somebody. You can't. And so
Or themselves, and they just happen to like how each other look.
I think that's not the straight line from A to B. That's
You don't know how the female mind operates.
The female mind? Is there such a thing?
I don't know, maybe.
there is a difference.
Definitely.
Yeah,
there is
there's
a
difference.
difference, but not that
There's a
much.
difference in wiring and perceptions.
But
yeah.
not that much. I mean, we share 54% of our DNA with bacteria. So think about that. Chew on that one. That thing about 98% of our DNA with the chimpanzees, but they can't talk because they're not wired to use a voice box. They don't have enough brain power to make it work.
don't
Dolphins
have
communicate with
opposable
each other.
thumbs.
Well, that's
That's a big one.
chimpanzees have opposable thumbs.
do? You think so?
Yeah. I think so. No, it's proof. That's no.
Wait
You
a
know who
minute.
doesn't?
We're talking about the female mind.
Yeah.
But the minds are all very similar across all.
So
that-
let's go back to the concrete versus the abstract.
Mm-hmm.
Did Amelia Earhart have the female mind? Did Eleanor Roosevelt have the female mind? And did Eileen Wuornos, the serial killer, have the female mind?
Oh, that's
What
a great
exactly are
one.
you calling female and male mind? Like, how is there? You're trying to say
We're going with like the bell curve, the big thing in
James.
the middle, the norm.
well,
James, does this fall under Chicks is Chicks?
Fall under what?
That's one of James's great sayings.
Well, I think James believes in the female mind.
Oh, he
concept.
does. Yeah, he's always talking
Whereas
about
I
that.
don't.
Well, let's
Chicks
hear
is
what he has
Chicks,
to say.
right?
that
Okay.
you know that that's an incel mind thought. That's a 21st century thing. The involuntary celibate, and that means all women are bitches because they won't have sex with you. That that's what the guys that they have a negative self-image, and that's why they have bunches of gangs, and they all the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Oh, like from the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
And
I think we should ask James. James,
Yeah, let's ask
Tell
James.
us about your concept of the female mind.
this is where you take a breath and you get wound up and.
That was cool.
This is where he says it and tries to make it sound politically correct. Go ahead.
It don't matter anymore. Political correctness is
I
out.
want to hear him talk.
Yeah. Go on.
There's no point in trying to make that politically correct. It's just a thing that you say when a woman talks about having her own mental faculties and doing things that she wants to do, and nobody can tell her what to do as she goes and chooses the worst choice for the 35th time.
Makes perfect sense.
That's why they should go girl for girl.
That helps me understand it.
That's the right
actually.
choice.
Yeah, that your perception is the worst choice, and is that worst choice because that choice is not you?
Right.
Or
It
you're
has
programmed into like thinking it's your choice. And
It
that
has
really
no-
isn't.
It
Don't
has
forget
nothing-
programming, social programming.
I mean, the worst thing I could do right now is go find some crystal meth, some rock, or I'm sorry,
crack?
no, not rock cocaine, but some crystal meth. Shoot it up, smoke it, and then go steal a gun from a cop, shoot everybody, then try to shoot myself, and it's empty. That'd be the worst decision. I'm not going to do any of that.
I would hope not.
That's what I'm saying, though. You know,
Yeah.
that I could make a million bad decisions. I could go to this gas station up here, buy a 12-pack of beer, even though I can't drink it, drink all of it, and then decide to drive on the throughway.
Why can't you drink
And
it?
is that related to the female mind?
Well, that's what James says about making the worst decisions. Everybody can make bad decisions, but his perception of the worst decisions, there's a lot of worst decisions. And if the worst decision is not going out with you, that's pretty trivial as far as bad decisions go.
No, I think James has.
Bring up going out with me at all.
Nope. Nope. That had nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about then. What are the 35 worst decisions?
How about when a girl gets on drugs and you help her to get off it, but she still goes back to it?
Which drugs?
Or how about
Oh, this is my area. Well,
Yeah.
So you're saying you got a girlfriend that's using drugs, and you're trying to help her get clean, but then she goes back to using.
yeah?
Cocaine.
Got nothing to do with you or her brain. That's just addictive behavior.
Yeah, and humans are addictive. I mean, it just depends on what you're addicted to. If it's
Oh, you know
liquor,
what?
drugs,
Yeah.
All right.
sex,
How about a better example? They go with a
Ferengi?
guy. What?
The Ferengi culture?
No,
Keep
that's
going.
complete. They had some things right.
Let's stay on the
But
topic, Sal.
Yeah. What if the girl, a girl you know, is in an abusive and nonsensical relationship, and she tries to leave this person, but then just goes back, and it keeps happening and happening, and it's still toxic, it's still abusive, but yet she keeps going back over and over again.
Well-
Now,
When you do something for so long, it becomes all you know. It's like when someone goes to prison, they come home after 20 years, and you expect them to know. They even given them an apartment and they're by themselves. You expect them to know what to do.
Aristotle said it.
When you adapt to something for so long.
Yeah, you are what you repetitively do.
Right.
It's the same thing with going to like World War II. Well, you know, you fight for 6 months, come home, and you're going, okay, so what the hell do I do now? Then you go back for another 2 years, then you come back.
Right, and that's the thing that people, military jobs, many of them are not transferable to the civilian world. Like in 11 Bravo or in 0300, 11 Bravo is an enlisted infantryman in the U.S. Army, and 0300 is enlisted rifleman in the Marine Corps. There aren't a lot of jobs for riflemen. That's not police work.
Shooting rats at the train yard. That's a good job for riflemen.
What's better for that or cats?
Chuck Connors, the rifleman.
yeah, I was gonna say, what brings up Lucas McCain?
Oh, Johnny just died last year.
He did?
Yeah, he's
oh,
dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Johnny got his gun.
That
That's the guy who played his son.
yeah, and
Yeah,
he said that
I
Chuck
know.
Connors was as good a father to him as his own parents were. His own father was.
That's great.
Yeah. So, what are these 35 bad decisions, James? I'm still waiting.
List them.
Just like give me an example of what you're talking about.
I thought I gave you a couple examples.
But
Not
you know what you
you.
said? You said a
James.
girl.
Yeah.
That's right there. It's disrespectful. You didn't say a woman. You said girl. And so that tells you where your
how about a
mindset is.
lady?
Matter of opinion.
Well, that's
Some people
still-
like
How about
being
a
called girl.
female?
How about a woman? Just say woman. Could you say a man? Or
Girly
or-
pop.
A woman.
Yeah, but also part of that is women that are in what does a controlling man do? Controls the woman every angle, so she doesn't have friends and she doesn't have anywhere to go to. So that's why there's a women's shelter out in Hamburg, and it's supposed to be hidden. I happen to know where it is, but there was a web page that had the address on it. I called them. I said, "You got to take this off right now because
Wow.
police will find you. You try. You want to show a terrified woman? It's a woman who's trying to divorce her police officer husband.
Huh.
Because they control. And what do you do when you how do you control
Yeah,
people?
it's-
Where they
it's-
live, where they shit, what they eat, who they see.
Yeah, it's like alternative incarceration. It's just jail, but not jail.
Like school.
And that's really where it's at. I mean, I may talk shit, but I'm more where the rubber meets the road because I know the reality of it. You know
Right.
that you see a woman beaten up and she's lying about it flatly because he will beat her harder if he hears her mentioning it.
Yeah.
And that's where the physical thing comes. Because if you have a son, the son can abuse the mother, beat her up, and control her money because he is healthier and he's physically bigger. That's where the male-female difference is. And then if she is one who made the whole house because she was forced to, that's the female mind, the maternal aspect, the grouper aspect, versus the hunter-gatherer who has to go and kill the
nesting.
saber-toothed tiger for food.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And some women don't buy into that. I mean, because people are people, and so not
Depeche
everybody can be cut in the mold. You would be a good psychiatrist, but you'd have to do a little bit of mind working.
The press has just chimed in.
Who'd be a good psychiatrist? James?
No, Richard.
Oh.
Well, are we going to let James talk, or are we going to keep talking over him?
Well, that's what it says at the beginning of the show. Endless interruptions.
Wait, what says your president thing says? I can't see the whole thing. Can somebody read that, please?
It says, I heard that women have feelings and men have facts, and that both should work to understand each other. I'm not sure if the basis is correct, but we should try to understand each other.
Wait a minute. So that means neither men nor women have a soul, because the press says that emotions and thought make a soul. So if men have half and women have half, nobody has any.
Seoul, Korea?
Good point.
I mean, you got to take each one. And because
Yeah,
that's,
there's a male soul and a female soul.
I don't think there's a soul at all, so it doesn't matter to me. I mean,
All right, let's
you are
not go
white.
there, please.
no, I mean, but this is what he said.
Who stole the soul? Like Public Enemy?
And so that's the thing. He said that if you have, and I said, so that
If you had no soul, you wouldn't be alive. It's
show me
the
a soul.
thing
Prove
inside
it.
you.
No, you can't. You can't prove it though. It
You
has
also
no,
got to prove that there isn't a soul.
Yeah, how do you know there isn't? There's
Gotta
more proof that
you
there is.
prove
than
that
there
there
isn't.
isn't.
give me one feature that there's a soul, because by the definition that the press gives, that means
Music.
dogs have souls.
They
and
do.
So do dolphins, but not cows.
No, that's animus.
No. Anything that's alive has a soul, even a plant.
I believe
Yeah,
your
and that's
soul's
what
your
you can't
personality,
prove
right?
that.
Your
You can't
soul's got-
prove that you don't either.
Yeah, but that you can't prove a negative. You tell me why there's a soul. You said there's a lot of evidence. I want to know some of it.
I don't know about evidence, but I'll say
on,
that I
Prez.
know. I believe personality and emotions is what your soul is. What shows your soul.
What about your dog?
Expressions of your soul, right?
Your dog.
Expressions.
Your dog shows
Yeah.
emotions. Our Mickey, our dog, was an emotional terrorist. He knew how to work every.
He just wanted food
He wasn't just food motivated.
and walks.
Hey, and
So
it
you're
worked.
saying when you die, you just cease to exist and nothing happens?
I don't know, so I'm not going to engage in Pascal's.
I would
At
say
least
I would
he's
say that.
admitting the unknown.
I mean, that's.
What would you say?
I would say that when you die, you cease to exist.
I
And
mean,
I'd furthermore, I would say everybody realizes that on a basic level.
No,
well,
But you still
I think
you don't
everyone's
believe in the
entitled to
afterlife?
their own-
Richard?
No.
Oh, okay.
because Pascal's wager was, if you believe in God and you worship Him, you're going to heaven. If you don't believe in God and God exists, you're going to hell. If you believe in
Not
God,
necessarily.
wait a minute.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
telling you what. This is Pascal's wager from 400 years ago.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
If you believe in God and there's no God, nothing lost. And if you believe it or you don't believe in God and there's no God, nothing lost. So the best thing you can do is if there is a God and you believe, because that'll get you to heaven. Otherwise, it's nothing. It's either eternal terror or it's nothing.
like this show.
Yeah. So, Sal, in a nutshell, what Pascal said is, if you believe and you're right, you get heaven. And if you don't believe, well, what's the big deal? You don't believe, right?
yeah.
So you got nothing to lose by believing.
That's yeah.
Now,
And everything to gain.
that's right. And the counter argument to that is, if you believe in something that is not true, it will affect three big things in your life.
What?
It'll affect how you vote, it'll affect the medical decisions you make, and it will affect how you spend your money.
I think it also affects on just being a better person. Like for me, I don't believe in religion, but I believe in spirituality, and I have a relationship with God as I understand who God is.
Wow, that's right out of AA.
And in return for that,
That's good.
That
That's
gives
good.
That makes me just to become a better person.
What if you're an atheistic good guy? What if you're a good guy for wanting to be good? Because there is no true
I was
altruism if
just
you think
gonna
of it.
say, without a spiritual aspect, if you're just a better person because you want to be a better person, that's what I think humans should do: is just be better people and be good to one another.
I mean,
Well, I think that just because you don't, if you're still a good person and you don't believe in God, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to hell. It just,
I was saying if you take the spiritual aspect out of it,
yeah,
but my relationship with God allows me to be a better person.
yeah.
And if I didn't believe in God,
Hey,
I would still just want to be a better person anyways.
That
But
brings
because
up-
of that, it helped me become a better person than who I was.
what if you just wanted to go around and get laid all the time and it didn't affect anybody but yourself? You know, like you found receptive partners. You didn't have to force anybody to do anything, but you didn't really contribute to the world. What's wrong with that?
Well, that's the point that you made when we were discussing diet. You said, who is harmed if I decide to eat meat? Remember that?
Yeah.
the animals.
And I gave
guess.
you a list of all the things that are harmed if you decide to eat meat. And you ended the discussion by saying, I don't care what you say, I'm going to keep eating meat.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. I'm not going to change. You put that on the bottom. That one really struck you.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, because no matter what we do, we have impact on. Unless you're going out like Robert Redford in what was the movie he was in with Will Geer where he was the mountain man? 1973.
Brokeback Mountain.
No, that wasn't it. The
It's
movie
a
with
great
Robert.
movie.
No,
I never saw it.
What was the movie with Robert Redford where he was the guy in the woods? You know, he was a mountain man.
Well, why don't you make your point?
Well,
I don't
unless
know.
you're doing that, you're having an impact even by the vegetable diet that you follow. Or
Well, the point is that you're wasting
in the
more
woods.
of the water on the earth by eating meat than you are by eating plants.
well, what about obligate carnivores like lions and tigers? They have to eat meat.
But you can control yourself. You can't control them.
What about wolves?
You can't control wolves, but you can control yourself.
What about your dog?
See, I'm
Jason,
talking
that
about
movie was-
you and your choices. And you want to talk about animals.
No, what I'm
You
saying
got to
is that
stay on the topic.
What you're
this
not-
is about what you choose to do in your life and how it affects the planet.
But you're talking about becoming an obligate herbivore, and you can't be that. That we do have as humans, as omnivores, we can't get B12 from that. And if your B12 isn't low, it will be. Or if you supplement it, any source of B12 is from animal sources. So
Jason, that movie's called A Walk in the Woods, by the way.
no, that's not the one. That's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
thank you. But because in fact,
I would
remember-
like to see the evidence of any B12 you get is from animal sources. I
Okay.
would like to see that.
Okay, I'll do it after the show.
I have a feeling you made that up.
I did not make it up. I did not make that up.
Couldn't you synthesize it somehow when they have the technology?
Exactly.
No, the whole
Exactly. In other words, the Native Americans found that if they boiled the bark of the elm tree, their headache would go away. They discovered aspirin. But since then, they don't get aspirin from the elm
From
tree.
the bark of a
like
tree?
Vanessa just said, they figured out a way to synthesize it.
yeah, but no,
I'm sure that's been done with B12.
there's no money in it. There's no money in it.
No, you sell the pills at the drugstore. Someone makes money off them.
No, because
I
Buy
pay for my
B12.
I pay for my
Yeah.
B12.
Me too.
But
too.
that's
all
the
do.
thing. That
Except
the
you.
vast majority of Americans eat meat.
Hey, what is
Well,
the
wait, you
best
just
sort of
changed the
B12?
subject.
No,
again.
no, I'm not.
You
I'm
went from
saying-
B12 to the vast majority.
No,
of
I'm
meat.
saying that there's no market for B12. Sure, you can get it, but there's no the research in order to because the cyano or the cobalamin. That's a huge structure. If you saw it, you'd say, "Wow, there's a cobalt in the middle," or it's a cyanocobalamin. There's a cyanide in the middle of it, and that's why making it. We can use hydroxycobalamin as an analog for people that have smoke inhalation because the carbon there's cyanide in smoke, so you give the hydroxycobalamin, which is a place for it. But that's a huge molecule. It's very hard to synthesize because you got to do piece by piece. Synthesizing Astromorph is completely synthetic morphine. That was straightforward. We still get more morphine from the opium poppy because it has to have a market. I mean, when
what topic are we discussing right now?
B12,
hell
it
are
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
have
was there a topic?
B12
There was,
doesn't.
and we got off on
I'm
this
sure Jim
B12 thing.
B12 can't be or I don't know if anybody has actually I don't know if anybody
Hey.
synthesized it artificially.
Like you
but
often say to people, just because you don't know about it doesn't mean that
it
isn't
doesn't
true.
exist. Yeah, that's the fallacy of anecdote.
What's the best source of B12 then?
Correlation doesn't mean causation.
Animal protein.
Which one's specific? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not a dietitian. I've had more classes in dietetics than most doctors, but I don't know that one. But you're certainly not getting it from coconuts or wherever. And that we as humans, we do, and also that's why we can't eat wood or paper. We can't digest it because we don't have is it the beta galactosidase? There's something that cows have, and why their methane is so much is because they can eat wood products. And the methane comes from the digestion of wood, but we can't. We just excrete it
Here's what AI says.
Choline is
well, let's trust that.
synthesized.
It says B12 is produced by bacteria, not by animals or plants. Animals get it by eating contaminated plants or put through microbes, which is why meat and dairy and eggs contain B12. Modern sanitized agriculture removes most bacteria from contamination, that contaminates the plants, so you don't get it that way. So you just have to get it from natural plant-based sources.
So my question is cholamine found in natural plant-based sources?
I don't think
B12.
so.
Cholamine. That's my
Cholamine.
question. I don't know.
Cyanocobalamin. Good eye. I don't think it is. I really don't think there are any plant sources for. But
Do you think or do you know?
I just
That is the question.
what I just say.
You think?
I'm not going to speak affirmatively about something I don't know.
We got to
it
do
is-
some research
From what I
then.
can read, it says it's commercially unviable. Therefore, industrial production relies on bacterial fermentation. As Richard said.
What did I say? There's no market for it.
To get it out of beer?
So you're both on the same page, is what I'm saying, from what I can read.
Oh. Well, we got a lull in the show here. We got to keep the talk going or people will get bored. Do you want me to bring up something?
Well, just
that's
so
the
you
one
know,
I think
AI
you
says
got.
it can be made in a laboratory.
But I said there's no market.
You keep hopping from one foot to another.
No,
it's frustrating.
No, I said.
Like as soon as I give you a counter argument, you jump to another topic. This is your modus operandi since I've started to know you.
but what did
I
I
agree.
say?
You believe you do a thing called but what about?
The whataboutism. I'm just saying.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Asking an opinion from
Like
Vanessa
I
is
just-
like asking your dog to fart on command.
Like I just said, it can be. He said it can't be
I
made in a
agree with that,
laboratory.
too.
no, I did
I
not.
showed how
I
it
said I don't
can.
think it can.
And then he says
mean?
no,
it doesn't make money.
Richard, I said I don't know if it can because the research isn't going in on it because there's no market to be made. I mean, that's why. Do you know how they found out that Viagra worked?
Wait, let's go on to the next topic.
Okay, who's got another topic?
I got a topic here.
Vanessa, you got a picture?
Oh wait, the press has commented on this. You must have faith for God to delight in you, and until you have God inside you, you can't stop sinning.
Hey, that
Yeah,
goes
but
with
you
my
can't
next-
stop sinning with God in you.
That goes with my next topic, the God of Western New York. Here we go. 'Tis the Bills season. It says, so this is the season for the Bills. This is not the Xmas season to worship the Jesus baby. This is, that's a thing in Buffalo, I noticed. We have a cult of the Buffalo Bills being the religion. They even took over Sunday, which used to be the day for the Lord, but now it's the day for the Bills.
Well, I got a question about that.
It's been hijacked.
Are you
Interesting.
trying? If a lot of people feel inside of them a fire of inspiration for the Bills, are you trying to put that fire out?
I'm just trying to educate them so they can make better decisions and not support a hydrofracking empire that makes millions of dollars off
you
destroying
talked
our
about
planet.
me changing.
No, the Pagulas made their money off hydrofracking.
They did.
They own the Bills.
Yeah.
Therefore, by supporting the Bills, you're supporting hydrofracking and you're supporting the destruction of our home, which is irreplaceable, this planet.
Union Pacific donated money to Dumb Donnie's ballroom, but Union
Well
Pacific
said,
puts
yeah.
billions of dollars into the U.S. economy. So are they both? Because you're saying about them owning the Bills and they hydrofract. I don't know. I don't think
That's
those two
where
things
they
go
made
together.
their money.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's unethical ownership. You're giving an unethical ownership even more money when you support this false religion of Bills worship.
do you know who JBL is?
It's a great speaker company, just big and loud. I have the headphones, JBL.
No.
John Bradshaw Wakefield?
Yes, he was a pro wrestler. He's a pro wrestler and he's a financial analyst. He does one in the day and he does one in the night. I mean, he was on CNN as a money guy.
Is that like three in the
Yep, I remember
three in the
that.
pink, five in the stink?
You can't go without being a scumbag. You can't do that.
Okay.
See, the reason I brought this thing up about the fire inside of people where they support the Bills, Vanessa and I were having
Hellfire.
a conversation, and Vanessa said the following thing. There is a fire inside of everyone which you should not let anyone extinguish.
That happened to me.
I see somebody trying to extinguish
No.
a fire.
Well, that
Can I comment on that?
I'm trying to
Late-
extinguish a false belief and a
that's a
false
chemical
idol.
fire. That's what that is.
Hold
You
on.
should-
Lately,
go
I've
ahead.
been speaking, and this is a good example. Lately, I've been sharing my story a little bit with certain people at different events. I lived in darkness for a very, very long time. And today I have a lot of joy, and I won't compromise that for anything. And I would call that my fire inside because it's joy in my heart. So that's just.
And you have a Bills hat on, so do you have a
Bird.
fire inside of you about
Oh,
the Bills?
goodness, I kicked out my.
I have a fire inside me that I burn for God, yeah, but not the Bills. I love the Bills, though.
You know the Bills make you want to shout.
Shout.
At the devil.
Kick my heels up and shout. Throw
the
my
devil.
hands up and shout.
At the devil. Like Motley Crue. You
No,
like
I knew that. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
I just
should.
chose not
the
to
Bills
react.
make you
because
shout at the devil on Sunday instead of shouting to the Lord.
You're doing like before and after on Jeopardy.
But you know,
Uh-huh.
I wonder the same thing. Is it hurting people who have a great passion for the Bills?
People need something to believe.
I don't think so. Yeah, if it makes their day better, makes them happy, and
But I'm going back to like the ownership is unethical. Why would you want to support
Do
something
you know?
that's destroying our
I
planet?
want you to show somebody who's ethical, who's rich. You can't show me one.
I remember growing up, Vanessa,
I
that
had
there was a
one around
joke
here.
that people would say on Good Friday.
It's hard to
Oh, yeah?
fight that one.
And the joke was one that you acted out. You didn't just tell somebody, you acted it out. On Good Friday, if you saw somebody laughing, you would go up to them and say, "How can you laugh and be happy when Jesus died for your sins?" Now, I think that's what you're doing here, Vanessa.
What?
You're tracing the enthusiasm for the Bills back to the ownership of the team and saying, how could you root for the Bills when the owner has made his money fracking?
That's an important factor in all of this.
I don't know.
Sure it is, but are you watching the game and saying, "Oh man, if they weren't fracking, I could cheer them on better"?
Well said.
Well,
Hold on. What I mean by that is, when I'm watching a game and I'm excited for it, we're led to not think that. We're distracted to not think of that. So she's not wrong.
Well-
but what I mean is, there's so much distraction around it. Nobody does think to say that or think about it.
But you see Robert Kraft, you see Mark, what's his name, who owns the Raiders. You never see Pagulas at the games. They don't put the camera on him. They show Bob
Correct.
Kraft in Boston, and the guy, Al Davis's son, Mark Davis, who has the bowl haircut. He looks like an idiot for being a billionaire. He looks like he
look
paid
at
him
him.
$10 for his haircut.
Why don't they show
Howard?
the Pigulas?
I don't know, but they're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and that's, I think, part of the distraction from it.
well, the whole
Because-
NFL. Hey, Sal, I know the Prez had some stuff to say about the NFL. You should type the about
Which sale are you talking to?
Mr. the Prez.
the Prez. You know.
Okay.
Oh, he just likes the
He
tight
was
ends.
saying that the NFL model is they have to make 6% interest every year, and then
Yeah,
6%
every
more,
year.
and 6% more, and it prices the average person out of even being able to go to the games.
True.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So that's pretty scummy too.
But it's
You got to figure most people that can attend these games, season passes, they've got to be well off or have decent money.
I agree.
So does that go along the lines of people that are fracking and the rich? I mean, does that all intertwine?
what it is the success, because at the beginning of this season, the Sabres prices were in the dumper, and that's what they were even making fun of. You could get a ticket for about $6. You could buy a 4-pack for $25, and so that's what the cost is. If the Bills started losing, you wouldn't see these astronomical 6% on 6% on 6% increases.
No,
people aren't going to pay for them.
That's across the NFL. That's their stated goal.
Yeah, but if they don't achieve that goal, it's not like it's a guarantee.
I don't know why I can't read the comments over here. I see the person's name. I see the Prez, but I can't see what it says. What did
Well,
it say?
we reading is fundamental. We can help you with that.
No, I bet it's his screen cuts off because of the way it's being piped
Yes.
in.
Oh, don't you have to
Yeah.
say something? Maybe he pooped on it, or
no, you were the one who said that
diarrhea,
last week.
or no.
Brian, I think the Prez is saying here, let's see. I agree with Vanessa also because the NFL makes.
That's very
Makes-
open-ended.
It is very
No, he's got to probably continue. That's a fragmented thought.
Oh goodness. Okay. So, back on the Greg Sterling show back 25 years ago, he would
good God.
end up with music. How could you play music there and I can't
Doubly
play
good
music here?
God.
Well, because now we're under the guidance of the Facebook robot.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
before we were under public access rules.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the robot will kick us off immediately.
Well,
And it's very hard to argue with the robot.
because they're always
But our friend Paul Drajum, he has a photography Facebook site, and he said to somebody, "That's a very interesting photo," and he asked people, "Send me your photos." That's a very interesting photo. I think you should do more like that. And he got reprimanded by Facebook for making an inappropriate comment. Who does he argue with? It's a robot.
yeah, and that absolves them from any blame because it's the bot. It's not us.
Right. Oh, I can bring up a topic if you like.
Yeah, fire away.
You got
What's the moral of the story? In Germany, Salzburg, Germany, there was a convent that was down to 3 nuns, and they were all getting elderly, and they were getting in their 80s. And the Catholic Church said, "Oh, we're going to put you in a nursing home." And they said, "We don't want to go to a nursing home." "Well, you got to go to a nursing home because you're elderly, et cetera, et cetera." So they put them in a nursing home. And this is a order that shuns contact with the outside world.
The Carmelites.
So they got into the nursing home, and people started showing them things about the outside. Look at this phone. Look, you can access the world here. Look at this thing, Instagram. You can go on it and you can talk to all these people. The nuns got savvy into how to use the phone, And then the nun said, hey, listen, we'd like to go for a walk today. Do you think that would be okay? And the front desk said, sure, go ahead and take a walk on the grounds. They didn't walk on the grounds. They went back to their convent. They got on their phone and they called up their former students and they said, do you know anybody who knows a locksmith? We'd like to get back into our convent. Sure I do, sister. I remember you taught me in 8th grade. Here, contact this guy. He's a friend of mine. Locksmith came, let him in. Then they went on Instagram and they said, Instagram people, we really like living here in our convent. We don't really like living in a nursing home. Do you think maybe if you could find it in your heart to send us some money? And all these people started, okay, so then the Catholic Church found out about this and they intervened and they said, sisters, we can't have you doing this. We wanted you to be in a nursing home. You want to be there. We'll meet you halfway. You can be in the nursing home. You can be in the convent like you want, but you got to give up social media. We don't like this image of the Catholic Church you're projecting to the world. And you know what the nun said?
Screw you.
Exactly. They said, we kind of like being on social media because that is how they're surviving now. Mm-hmm. They don't want to give up that power.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like...
Did they get excommunicated?
No, to get excommunicated is a big deal. It's... that's
and how would that look on Instagram?
Oh, my goodness. Because the Chabad Lubavitcher people in New York, they have to be their own community because they couldn't survive being anti-technology one person in the neighborhood. And, you see those Orthodox Jews that have the hair, the sideburns are down to here. They use curling irons to do that. But you know what? They don't have, all it is don't take a blade to the sideburns. You can take scissors and it's there. Because there was an Orthodox Jewish PEDS resident named David 25 years ago when I was in med school. He had sideburns and they just cut it with a scissor. That was completely compliant with the law.
So the Orthodox people are similar to the nuns?
By removing themselves from the technology.
Oh, I see.
That the Chabad Lubavitchers and the Orthodox, there was one of the OBGYNs. He said, I'm a Jew, so I could say this. The Orthodox are so goddamn cheap because...
So do you think it was a wise move made by the nuns?
Absolutely.
You applaud there?
Absolutely, because just like I said about going to the Grammys, you have to be dressed to the nines unless you're a performer who has a certain look. That's like 3 people have their certain look. Everybody else has to be dressed to the nines. And so you can't, unless you are a star, you can't be living in olden days and try to compete with the people that are living in modern age.
So this is my thing to the press. You can have an ideology like the nuns did. If you want to lead a holy life, you must shelter yourself from the world. But you can also change that ideology and say, the outside world is not as bad as we thought it was. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing, Prez, that I'm saying to you. You have an ideology. Be willing to change it. Like, don't get locked into it where you say, I can't change my ideology. You're better off if you give yourself flexibility.
Okay, I want to segue what you were saying about the nuns and everything. Rumor has it, and I want to know how true this is or not, that the Amish communities, a lot of them don't suffer from certain diseases as much as we do, say, diabetes and different things because of the way they eat and live. I want to know what you guys know about that.
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
That I saw Amish babies that were had the mothers received no prenatal care because mom does 90% plus of the work and everything's good until it isn't. Until it isn't. Until there's a shoulder dystocia or there's a breech birth. And we don't know unattended births. 1 out of 5 babies or women will die during an unattended birth. So we don't know how many we're not seeing because they're totally cloistered. But you bring one person in there who has a cold and you're going to decimate them. Measles? Oh my goodness. Measles will kill them all. And also Amish have a large percentage, not a large percentage, belay that, maybe 10% that leave the community. They leave it. They do the Rumspringa and then they stay out. I know a guy who was one of 9 kids, and him and 2 of his brothers, 3 out of 9 left the Amish community. He's the guy's a PA now in Las Vegas. He's married to an ER doc that he met here in Buffalo.
Oh wow!
And and that's the thing. His brothers. So there was Tobias, there was Jakob, and there was Eberhard. Jake and Toby worked at Club Marcella because Jake never hit a weight room, and he was rock hard. So the dudes were throwing money at him like nobody's business. And Toby looked like he was 13, even though he was 21.
To answer your question, Brian, here's what Google said. The Amish do have lower rates of certain diseases because of their lifestyle, but they have higher rates of rare genetic disorders
'Cause they're inbred.
because they're so
Ooh, the Habsburg
Oh, wow.
jaw.
because
they don't
So it's a trade-off, not necessarily a good one, but
Well, my own personal view is like when I got my Kamado Joe, I had to go up to Niagara County, and you either are incredibly beautiful or you are weird looking, and there's no middle ground. There's no middle ground, you know? Like, remember Witness with Harrison Ford and Kelly McGillis?
Yep.
Yeah. Alexander Goodenough played one of the Amish guys. Either you're beautiful or you're weird looking.
yeah.
I mean, and
Why
the
not both?
Well, the weirdest thing in the store was there was no music being piped in. It was dead silent. They had everything in the Western world for crafting. I mean, you name it, they had it from a button this big to bolts of cloth, but there was no music in there. You could hear a pin drop. I mean, that was because and the guy, the husband, was a carpenter that used solar power on his truck to power his tools.
So they don't listen to music like the Taliban? Is that a thing? They
I
don't
can't
listen to
believe you
music?
brought that up.
I don't know
Well, the
anything about
Taliban made music illegal in Afghanistan, all music.
Well,
They also
but,
made it illegal for them to keep the theaters open.
Yeah.
and girls to go to school.
Theater of Pain.
That
Motley
is
But
Crue.
what's it? A wasabi? The very-
Wahhabi.
Wahhabi. The Orthodox Muslims and the Orthodox Jews have a lot in common.
Well, can you tell me about the Amish thing? Is there a prohibition against music with the Amish? Is that what you're talking about?
That the most really the most conservative they won't. But I don't know if there are other ones do anything because it is in Psalms. Make a joyful noise unto
Right.
the Lord.
So they don't even play pump organs or anything,
Yeah,
or like
I would think
acoustic
they have
guitars
religious
or
music.
something.
But I was told about the Quaker meetings. Do you know how a Quaker service goes on a Sunday?
Oh,
it's silent.
It's a joke.
No, it's not a joke. You just sit there, and the oldest person in the congregation, which is usually a woman, when she decides they're over, they're over. It could be 5 minutes or 5 hours. But
Like
you're
the show?
No, you're sitting there like
Is that
this.
different than I know some churches do like a 57-minute silent prayer.
What church?
57 minutes? Why
Yeah,
is such a
it's
number?
I don't know. It's not.
Mine's 57?
Yeah.
Stop.
I know people from the Quaker religion,
That was funny.
and
Heinz 57.
and
Yeah,
they
it
said
was.
that their Sunday get together involves everybody's in the church together, and you only speak when you're inspired. So in
They
other
never
words,
are.
you sit there and you wait for God to inspire you, and then suddenly, oh, I want to bring up a point.
Oh, it's like me.
So it is like this show in a way.
Yeah.
Well, when I when I was in college, I was much more religious, and I really considered joining the Society of Friends. And there was a guy from Washington and Lee
With benefits?
who, not
Friends.
with you, definitely. He
Not my
said
type,
he
anyway.
said that he grew up in a Quaker household. And that's what he said theirs were. He didn't mention any inspiration. Just sitting there in the meeting room, dead silent.
So apparently he was talking about the point of the meeting where nobody had anything to say. They were waiting for the inspiration.
Right. And he
Some
said,
people find that very calming, by the way.
but where does calm become boring? You know what I mean? Like, because like doing
Certain podcasts.
people doing people meditating, then they fall asleep while they're meditating. You know that if
Do you
that happens,
meditate?
I have, but not recently, not in 20 years.
But I mean, it's an interesting question. When does calm become boring?
Oh, that's a great one.
I would say
I
if
think
you
when it stops benefiting you.
yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. I mean, if you're
it
bored, you
becomes
get up
too
and walk out.
repetitious. Yeah, if it's repetitious and, it's
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
So, for example, remember that show 6 Feet Under? It was on
Yeah.
HBO. It's about an
Oh, yes.
Undertaker family.
Do you know that they hate that term, Undertaker?
So
The wrestler?
on that show, there was one episode where it involved the Quakers, and somebody had to go to a Quaker meeting, and they experienced this thing, and they showed it they showed what the Quaker meeting was like. So immediately I clipped that and I sent that clip to my friend Larry, a Quaker. I said, how realistic was this portrayal of a meeting? And he said, do you know how rare it is to have the media actually show what they think a Quaker meeting is like?
Wow.
He goes, this was fascinating. And he went through it, and that's where he explained to me. He said, you know, you wait for the inspiration, et cetera, and that it is very calming. And interestingly enough, on the TV show, that person who went and experienced it, he went back again a few more times. Mm-hmm. So apparently he did get something out of it.
Well, I got a question for you personally, Richard.
What?
In your seminary, how many people were not inspired? I mean, how many people left because they didn't have the gift of inspiration from God or a vocation?
Well, let me put it to you this way: when a teacher, Father Scheel, turned into Bob Scheel when he left the priesthood, of course I asked him that, and he said, "I left because I wanted to work with young people. The diocese insisted that I go to this parish and become a priest with old people. And I couldn't do that without violating who I am and what I want out of life. So we couldn't come to a compromise." So, and once again, he left because the ideology was too strict. They wouldn't change.
And if you don't,
I get the feeling all the other of the six other priests felt the same way, but a lot of them wouldn't talk to me.
Well, it's like when Al Gray was the commandant of the Marine Corps. He said, "We don't want robots. We want people that can think individually, but can follow orders." So, so that's it's kind of
Sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah, it does.
well, they can think independently but follow orders. They can just like the clones. The clones, they can make their decisions on the fly. They can follow orders like Order 99. But they can also make their individual things versus the droids who can't think.
How about Order 69?
That is true.
That's the thing. You have to, because it's like this whole, it's amazing throwing Mitch Bradley under the bus because Greasy Pete doesn't even know what he's doing. He is the most unqualified person in the government. That's saying something.
Yeah, tell the viewers who Greasy Pete is in case they don't know.
That's Pete Hegseth, the guy,
Right.
the retired major from the National Guard. He was not Reserve Army. He was not U.S. Army. He was National Guard. And he made it to major. He didn't even get it to lieutenant colonel. And so he's telling all these generals, because you could be fat and be a general or an admiral because you know what you're doing. But he's all worried about the look of them and the health. You know what? If you're a healthy idiot, you can't make it. I mean, I got a guy from my class at VMI who just turned 55. So at 54 is the last time you could fly. And he's an FA-18 pilot. He's a Hornet pilot. So now he can't fly anymore. But he's still in command. Although he's an aviator, is in command of, he's a 2-star in command of a place in Germany. So, yeah, I mean, he's the real deal. That Dan is the reason why you don't say that 25% get promoted to 06, captain or colonel, then 12% get 1 star and 6% to 2 stars. So you're an expert in your area. And then the 3 and 4 star jobs, you only get those if there's a job available. So you can be just by merit promoted up through 2 stars, but you have to have a job. So that's why the 3 stars that command like the 7th U.S. Army or the 4 stars like the SACEUR, Supreme Allied Commander Europe, they really know what they're doing. And by canning those people, you're cutting the machine off at the head. Mm-hmm. Oh goodness, we got 1 minute left.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
What do you guys know about this new? It's like creating stem cell children without actual parents, like actual humans.
Well, that's going to happen eventually, whether we like it or not.
You mean making them in a test tube, kind of?
Yeah, or genetically using CRISPR to resort their genes to give them brains or a body or charisma.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They can make someone however they want. I'm saying, what do you think about it?
Pre-programmed.
Well, yeah, custom designed children.
Yeah,
Custom
because
DNA.
there was a show 10 years ago on Fox that was Almost Human, and it had
I remember that.
Carl Urban as a guy, and his partner was a
robot.
A robot, but there was one of the police officers,
Android,
Minka Kelly. She was genetically engineered, and she became a police officer because there was a woman with who I worked who went to the Punahou School, she became a nurse. You become a doctor or a lawyer at Punahou. You don't become a nurse. And likewise, the genetic people don't become cops. But that's all we got. So all y'all get out of hell and go do live your lives.
Take
Rock
care.
on, y'all.